Illustrator provides several different types of bristle brushes that simulate natural brushes when you apply them to your artwork. Let's explore some of these brushes. Now I'm beginning this video with the face.ai file already open on my computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and open up the brushes panel. Now you're going to see that we have one bristle brush here by default, but there are many more to choose from. So if you want to use one of the bristle brushes provided with Illustrator, you can go to the panel menu, go to Open Brush Library, go to Bristle Brush, and choose Bristle Brush Library. You can also access that by clicking this button right here at the bottom of the brushes panel. Now this is going to open up your bristle brush library where you have a number of brushes to choose from. So you can pick these from the list. If I pick the Stippler, it'll add it to my brushes panel. I'll go ahead and maybe add yet one more. Let's go ahead and add this one. That looks good. And I'll go ahead and close that. Now, if instead you want to create your own brush, what you can do is click on the New Brush button at the bottom of the Brushes panel. And in the New Brush dialog, we're going to choose Bristle Brush. So go ahead and click OK. And now you can customize your own brush. So I'm going to call this the LBV Bristle Brush. And you can choose the shape of the brush you want to create. You can see that we have about 10 options to choose from. So I'm going to go ahead and go with maybe one of these flat, blunt brushes. You can adjust the size. And as you do this, you're going to see the preview changes to show you. You can adjust the length. I'm going to go ahead and reduce this a little bit. The density, the thickness, the opacity, as well as the stiffness. So once you're happy with these settings, you can go ahead and click OK. And that's going to add your brush to the brushes panel. Now, when you apply this brush, you're going to be using your paintbrush tool. And you have to remember that this particular tool paints using your stroke color. So I'm going to change my stroke color. I'm going to pick maybe like a darker brown here to set my stroke to that color. And now what I'm going to do here, I could just start painting if I want to. So if I click and drag up here, you're going to see that I'm going to start painting strokes. But I'm going to undo that because what I also want to show you that you can do is if you select this shape with your selection tool, I'm going to turn on the Draw Inside mode. And that's going to allow me to paint inside of this object and kind of stay within this shape. So I'm going to deselect that now, but Draw Inside mode is still enabled. I'm going to go to my brush again. And you can use the left and right bracket keys on your keyboard if you wish to change the brush size. So you can increase or decrease that. And so now, once again, I have to make sure that my stroke color is set to that darker brown that I wanted to use. And now when I start painting, you're going to see that I'm painting within the shape. You'll notice if I go out too far, it's still only drawing inside of that object. And every time you paint with this tool, you're essentially drawing a path. Okay? And I've layered this. If you look at my layers panel, I have all the detail in the front, and the background is on its own layer underneath. But you have a lot of flexibility here to choose from, and every time you draw, you're going to draw a path. And what's cool is you can layer on top of one another. So you can do a lot of detail work up here, and every time you draw a path, it's going to kind of layer on top of the other one. So you can experiment with the other brushes as well. You can see that we have a fan brush here. So depending on what you're trying to do, you can create kind of maybe some shading over here. Again, as you do this, you're layering these items on top of one another. And all I'm doing here is just kind of trying to add a little bit of detail so you can see the look and feel and how these brushes work. So you can see that with bristle brushes, they do an amazing job of applying color to artwork in a way that simulates more natural brushes, allowing you to create the look and feel that you desire.